Раз. Раз. Раз.
Thanks everybody for coming today to listen fascinating stories about Odessa. My name is Ksenia Turkova. I usually present here, but today I will be a moderator, and it's an honor for me to be a moderator for Yuliya's lecture. It will be a talk more than a lecture, I guess. Yeah. So let me introduce Juliya Gorodetskaya, a journalist and well-known Odessan activist. It's actually a rare opportunity to hear directly from someone who knows Odessa so deeply, not only because she's from there, but because she divides her time between Odessa and New York. Yuliya lives in New York, but she spends a lot of time in Odessa, like months, right? Half of the year, connecting both worlds, and we will talk about it today. Yuliya also has a fascinating mission, or maybe a hobby. You will see the results of her mission or her hobby, whatever, however you want to call it. You can buy all those candles for the donation, and all the donations go to the Ukrainian army. So you support Ukraine if you buy those candles. Before we start our talk, I actually want to tell you a little bit how we met. I worked at Voice of America as a journalist, and I saw on the news, I saw a slogan. That slogan you can see on her T-shirt today, and we will talk about it a little bit more in detail. And I saw a story about that slogan, and I wanted to tell our audience about it. So I called Yuliya, and we recorded a little interview, and we made a story. Actually, this slogan is about how undefeatable Odessa is. Early in the invasion, Yuliya came up with a phrase that instantly became a hit across Ukraine. In English, it roughly means "no way you're getting Odessa," but in English it sounds very neutral and not as funny as it sounds actually in Russian. And I don't even want to say like in Russian, I would say like in Odessan language. We will talk about this as well, because Odessa has its own very specific language. In Russian, it's far more direct, raw, angry, and full of defiance. It's something like, screw you, you're not getting Odessa. How would you translate it?
I would say have a dick, not Odessa.
When I asked ChatGPT how to translate it, it warned me not to do it literally in a public setting. So you'll have to learn the exact version later in private conversations with us. We can tell you that slogan, and you can learn it, and we will teach you how to say it properly. But not now, because we are on YouTube. We can only translate. And so that slogan became the symbol of Odessa resistance. Again, it means no way you're getting Odessa. And so we filmed that interview with Yuliya, and then I came to New York for a couple of days, and I really wanted to meet her in person. And so we actually we walked together to the Russian embassy in New York. That was how we actually met for the first time. And the Russian embassy at that time had just been splashed with red paint. symbolizing blood. So we took a lot of pictures there, and we actually spent great time. Yes, it was a great day. But before we start our talk, we want our English-speaking audience to learn something from Odesan language. We think it's very important to learn something. Odesa has a lot of witty, funny phrases, expressions you can use in your everyday life. And let's learn one of them. It sounds like «Не делайте мне нервы», which means don't get on my nerves, right? Don't get on my nerves. But it sounds very specific. It's not, as I said, it's not even Russian, so it's not grammatically correct. It's like a little bit twisted, and that's why it sounds very funny. Who wants to repeat it? Не делайте мне нервы. Someone who doesn't speak Russian. Не делайте мне нервы.
Не делает, не нервы.
Who else? Who wants to repeat? Не делайте мне нервы. Не делайте мне нервы. So if we talk too long, you can say не делайте мне нервы. Don't get on my nerves. So remember that phrase and use it when we speak too much. And actually, it's time to start because now I'm speaking too much.
No, that's okay. I'm okay.
Yeah. So what I want to start with, I actually want to ask you about the beginning. How did the war come to Odessa, and what do you remember from those early days? Were people expecting it? Or was it completely like unpredictable for them? Was there still disbelief that it could actually happen? So how did it begin in Odessa?
Yeah, it was a total disbelief. Nobody was preparing. I came to Odessa at the beginning of February of 2022. Nobody was prepared. Nobody. Yeah, nobody was suspecting that it's going to be war. I was crying. Why don't you prepare your shelters? Why don't you prepare your sirens? People chose to believe that there will be no war. Yeah.
And what did they say? Like, Putin will never do it, or it's just impossible, an impossible scenario?
Of course, he's too smart. He has too much money in Western banks. It's not going to be war. It's 21st century. The funniest argument I've heard. It's not going to be war. You are too nervous. You are hysterical. Yeah. The problem was in me, not in the people who didn't want to believe. But when it started, of course, there was not a choice to believe it, because there were blasts around the city. You didn't know whom to believe. The mayor of the city of Odessa was hiding for 2 weeks, and our men were collecting sand on the beaches to protect somehow our monuments with the bags of sand.
You probably have seen those pictures of monuments like covered the bags of sand to the top.
Those were made just by people. I remember the feeling at the beginning. It was quite scary. I came knowing that it's going to be war, but still it was frightening. But you had to find something for yourself, to do something. And I found volunteering. So after I became a volunteer to the Navy Orchestra, I wasn't frightened.
You were
Yeah,
not
I
afraid
wasn't,
when you
yeah.
started volunteering.
Yeah.
And as far as I remember, a lot of people were volunteering in Odessa.
All of them, I would say, at the beginning.
What did they do?
Somebody was cooking, somebody was emptying their collection of wine bottles to make Molotov cocktails. I have a friend who had a big collection of wines. She emptied those bottles and created Molotovs a lot. Because we didn't know who is going to come, how we are going to protect ourselves, because we don't have arms, any arms in Odessa. So, yeah. Somebody was cooking for those who are building barricades. Everybody was doing something.
And tell us a little bit more about different expectations and mood in Odessa, because Odessa is it's like a melting pot. There are a lot of people with different backgrounds and different opinions, and actually I think Russian propaganda and Putin, they present Odessa as a Russian city, and they present it as a city that it's not like Crimea for them, but it's kind of Crimea. It has like some history and culture Russia uses to present it as a Russian city. So were there people who were like supporting the war or expecting Russia to come?
There were a lot of people who were waiting for Putin, but they felt betrayed even more than we felt the same, because they were told that Russia is not going to attack, and after the attack, they couldn't explain anybody that Russia is a great country that is attacking kids at night in the beds.
So they were not thinking that Russia was saving them.
No, they didn't. I was fixing an interview for Italian journalist. I was translating for her, and we found some pro-Russian person who was sure that Russia will be that Odessa will become a Russian city, but it will be in some peaceful way. Yeah, and he was feeling betrayed. He was literally crying that Russia betrayed them. They can't say anything in support of Russia anymore.
What are those people doing now? Like, did they change their position? All of them change their position or there still some?
I don't know, frankly speaking, I don't communicate with those kind of people, but I think that if you are bombed, I think twice, 3 times a week, you won't be too pro-Russian. You don't have any chances to sit under the bombs and believe that they are good people.
How did the language situation change during the war? I know, for example, if we are talking about Washington, D.C., right? I know a lot of Ukrainian people who were Russian speaking and they switched to Ukrainian. What happened to the language situation in Odessa?
A lot of people switched to Ukrainian, Russian-speaking people switched to Ukrainian. I think 90% of people switched to Ukrainian in written language. Maybe less communicate in words in Ukrainian, but still, yes.
Mm-hmm. I just for our audience, for people who are watching us on YouTube, we need to explain that Ukrainian language is everywhere in the Ukrainian cities, like at schools, universities. So it's the official language. But we're talking now about like how people speak in the family. Mm-hmm. Right, like sometimes with friends and everyday language.
A lot of Russian-speaking families switched to Ukrainian.
Maybe we can show some videos or photos now.
Yeah, but mm-hmm. I have 3 videos. One of them flash mob, and 2 of them are the places that were bombed. And I think that the order is 2 of the videos where it was bombed, but then to say about the flash mob, because the bombing was the first, then it was a flash mob, and then there was candles.
Well, which one you want to show first?
Doesn't matter, I think. Раз, два, три, четыре. Вот это вот, да, да.
And when was it? 2023. And as far as I know, volunteers, not only in Odessa, in Kharkiv as well, for example, like after the bombing, they act very quick.
Yes.
Like they clean everything, and you won't recognize the place that was bombed. So it's just fantastic.
Yes, they do, and sometimes that's a problem because somebody has to come and to fix
Document.
the document
Mhm.
it. And
Yeah.
they're just cleaning, not leaving.
Is it the center of the city?
That year I lived in the city center, and there was a week when we were bombed every day, and that's why that flash mob was created, because I was too nervous, and that was a therapeutic way to calm myself. And I made the flash mob
That
with
flash
that
mob, you are not getting
yes,
Odessa.
yes, with that phrase. And somebody translated it to English, and we can show you. Нет, вот я.
I remember that.
Somehow it became popular, yes, and I have my 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah,
When
it went viral.
Yes.
This.
Да.
Mhm.
That's only bombed houses.
Yeah, so that went viral, and Yuliya really became popular after that
Yeah.
flash mob,
When you're
and
walking,
people started making T-shirts, right?
yeah. When you're walking through Yerbasovskaya street, it's the city center of Odessa, and somebody is asking you, "Are you a lady with a dick?" Because you talk about it.
So people really supported it.
Yeah, they did.
Uh, can you tell us a little bit, just in general, for people who don't know much about Odessa, what is the secret of famous Odessan humor, sense of humor? Sense of humor.
People are looking for this answer for centuries. You asking me? I don't know.
What is special about like Odessan language and the Odessan sense of humor?
I think that the people of different nationalities were mixed in Odessa, and this humor was created on the edge of those cultures.
As I said, like a melting pot.
Yeah.
And why do you think Odessa is special for Putin?
Oh, I think that because it declared itself pro-Russian for years, because it was founded by Catherine II, and he thinks that it belongs to Russia, as it was founded by Russian empress. And I don't know, because he is a freak. It's Ukrainian city. He doesn't have any chances, but yeah, he wants.
But I think he does have special sentiment about
He is, yeah,
about
he has.
Odessa
He has.
because it's at the Black Sea and because of its geographical position, but also historical and cultural. And
Yeah.
Pushkin.
Pushkin lived here, there, yeah, for 13 months. You told me that you'll ask me about the language, and when I was living in the city center and all of those buildings were bombed, I was ready to go and do something with monument to Pushkin, even though Pushkin is my favorite poet.
Why?
Because if they use Pushkin
As a weapon?
Yeah, as a weapon, as a thing, they, как сказать, что они оправдывают то, что они нас защищают, как-то освобождают. Yeah, yes. If they justify the attack and they say that they're liberating us, for us to have a possibility to read Pushkin, so I don't want to read Pushkin, any Pushkin.
How does Odessa live now? What is everyday life look, and how it changed throughout the war?
The most astonishing thing is that Odessa lives as if there is no war, because people are coming to the streets to clean the streets at 6 a.m. and they're cleaning as if there is no war. Odessa is very clean now. I remember we didn't have water, but dvorniki were cleaning the streets without water. They were just
I heard
gas.
the same thing about Kharkiv, that is very clean.
It is. I have never seen Odessa this clean before the war. Everybody is working as if there is no war. I had 2 surgeries in Odessa. I couldn't imagine how those surgeons can operate. I was not sleeping the previous night. They didn't too, because it was an attack. But yeah.
And what do people think? Like, do they talk? Do they think about the end of the war? How long it might be? Like, what are their expectations?
There are a lot of people, as at the beginning, who are hoping for the close, but we know that it will not happen when this freak has money. So some of the people understand that we'll have this fucking shit for years.
So people just adjust to that new mode of life. And tell us how did you come up with this idea? What?
Schools and kindergartens now have shelters. So pupils and students are going to the shelters every day because Odessa is being bombed every day. Or not being bombed, but they were frightened by those drones, разведчики, как сказать, intelligence drones.
Tell us how did you come up with this idea of making candles? What was that moment?
When I came next year after the flash mob, I realized that I don't have any moral rights to make another flash mob because I spent my time in New York in safety and people were there. Winter was absolutely horrible because it was cold. They were not light and so on. So I found for the first candle I found a mold. Yes, and it's
the
yeah.
first one is this,
Yeah.
and it represents the most famous Putin's nickname.
Can you explain?
Yes, I was going, I have my notes here, but this is something you shouldn't say in public either. Chat GPT wouldn't recommend to say it in public, and while YouTube broadcasting. But anyway, I will actually say it. I think otherwise we won't be able to explain it. So the nickname sounds as Huilo. It's like a chant that mocks Russia's president. It first appeared in the spring of 2014, so it's a pretty old nickname. I remember where I moved to Ukraine from Russia to Ukraine in 2013, and that was actually the time around this time it appeared, sort of a very long time ago, and it originated from the football soccer fans of two clubs, and the word huilo means literally, if you translate it literally, it means dickhead. That's what that candle actually represents. And why did you start from that one?
That was the only one that I could buy. And
Okay.
after that, I found the Kremlin form. And after that, I began to do my own forms. Now I'm doing myself. I'm printing on 3D printer, and then make a mold, and then make those candles.
And why did you start it? It was just a therapy, some kind of therapy for you, or you wanted to raise money, or what was the main reason?
Yeah, I'm raising money from the beginning of the big war. I told you that I'm a volunteer for the Navy Orchestra, but apart from that, I'm collecting all the time. I'm collecting money for the repair of the vehicles at the front line because they need the repair all the time. So I decided that I'll sell those candles and give away all the money that I have because I buy for my money. I buy wax and all this stuff. Yes, yeah, the dye and the
all the ingredients.
Yes, fragrances. I buy it for my money, and all the money I receive, I give away for those needs.
And so it was, but for you it was also like a therapy.
It is a therapy. It is a therapy.
Were you thinking that it would become that popular?
No, I didn't, but I hoped. This year it was a tremendous success. I was with my Navy Orchestra in Scotland, and we found out that Scottish people are supporting us very much, so they decided to buy all of my dickheads. I didn't have the number they wanted to buy.
And do you remember the first reaction when you just started doing it? Who reached out to buy them? Do you have any stories about that?
Yeah, the first people were my friends. Yeah, but after that, yeah, there were some people I didn't know who ordered, for example, 100 of those dickheads, and I have had at the moment only one form. Why didn't I buy another one or other several? I don't know, but I was waking up every 3 hours at night to make them to be in time.
Every 3 hours?
Yes, because it takes 3-4 hours.
How many do you make now?
I can make, I think, 20 at a time.
And for example, like per month or week or something
I
like
didn't count.
But that's a lot. I remind you again that we have the whole box of those candles, and you can buy some of them. And then let's explain about the Kremlin. So when you see the Kremlin on fire, it should feel good.
It is. Yes. Therapeutic. And you can imagine that the real Kremlin is burning too.
Yes, that's what I mean. Where do you make your candles? In New York or in Odessa as well?
In New York and in Odessa as well. I came from Scotland, I told you, at the beginning of September, and I went here at the beginning of October. I didn't see Odessa one day. I just was at home making candles. I didn't see the places of interest, my favorite places. All of my friends came to my apartment to see me and my candles.
Do they have a special scents?
Most of them have a sense of almond because I love it. And because people have to feel something pleasant while lighting them and burning the shit.
I have one more question for you about. In the beginning, I said that you live between New York and Odessa, and you are kind of connecting those two worlds. And you've seen how the attitude towards war has evolved here in America towards Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, or maybe haven't evolved. And so, what did you observe? How was it changing, and especially in terms of your, as I said, being like between two worlds?
I think that at the beginning, Americans were very, very supportive. And now I think that they are still very supportive, but they have their own problems. And those problems are very big. So they don't have any capacity to support us.
But do you feel that Ukraine is still on the America's radar? I'm talking about people now, not politics.
I thought that it's not, but I was watching town halls last year, at the beginning of the year, and I found out that that's the only question that unites people on those town halls. People are asking about Ukraine in every town hall in this big country.
And if we talk about Ukraine,
Yeah.
what do people think about America's support in Ukraine?
They're very grateful. All of the Ukrainians I met are very grateful to American people for their support.
Do they see the United States as a like hope or to end the war?
Not exactly anymore. For a year now, almost a year. But before that, and I think as a hope for the future, yes.
Thank you so much. Let's watch one more video, right? One more video
We
left.
can watch it. We can skip it.
Let's watch it. Why not? Let's watch it, and then we will go to Q&A. This is one more video after the shelling, right? And what is that building? Mm-hmm. And that's everyday life in Odessa. Let's go to the questions. If you have questions about Odessa, I just wanted to add that when I lived in Ukraine, I worked as a journalist, and I had a very interesting project called the Languages Independence. And I went to the former Soviet countries to make like some kind of research about what happened to this or that language, national language, after the Soviet Union collapse. And it was very interesting. But in that series, I did a separate story about Odessan language, although it's not a national language, but I decided to write a separate article dedicated to Odessan language. And the title of that article was the language as jazz, that is similar to jazz. Because everybody, I talked to a lot of people in Odessa, different activists and journalists and musicians and writers, and I went to the famous market Privoz, and I recorded some samples of language there. So it was really very, very interesting. And a lot of people told me that Odessan language is like jazz. It's free, and it has such a variety of words and expressions and tones. So it's really like a different language. That's why I even brought a dictionary of Odessan language. If you read in Russian, you can look at it after our talk. So that was really interesting. If you have any questions about Odessa, please.
Yeah, so I was running around, so maybe I missed something, but what is the actual importance of Odessa to Russians? Why is such an coveted prize? Why do they want it so much? You discuss, but can you elaborate maybe a little more? Why did they want to take it so fast? And it didn't happen. It was such a letdown for the Russian army. So could you please talk about it a little more?
um, apart from the fact that Odessa was connected culturally to Russian Empire, it is also a port. It is also a place through which our great grain is getting to the world.
Yes.
It's also the way to Transnistria and Moldova. And if Putin had enough strength, he would take Odessa and after that Transnistria and Moldova.
So it's a geographical position, and it's like a way to weaken the economy, I guess.
Yeah.
And then historical and cultural. That special. How Putin felt very special about Crimea. It's not only like profit for them, but it's also a special sentiment about Crimea. And I think he has the same sentiment about Odessa.
He had, yes, he obviously had, and he tried, but fortunately for us, he didn't manage to capture us.
So there are a lot of reasons why this city is important. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's a port city.
Unfortunately, we can't use our ships otherwise than delivering the grain. There are a lot of bombs in the Black Sea, so we don't have our yachts stand on the stands. And people are swimming, of course, but at their own peril. It was not, it is okay.
I didn't hear what?
Opera.
Opera theater.
Opera house was not bombed. It seems that they don't want to bomb it. But they did bomb Bristol Hotel, which is near Philharmonic. And Philharmonic suffered.
There was one more question. Sorry, I forgot. You can actually pass it around.
You said a little while ago,
You can just speak it to you.
that there were people in Ukraine that were kind of hoping for a peaceful unification with Russia, and of course that did not come to pass. So I was wondering how much they pulled back from that. Specifically, do you think there's any appetite in Ukraine to switch from Cyrillic to the Latin alphabet?
Don't know at the moment. Didn't hear once.
There were some discussions about switching, even at the times when I lived in Ukraine. There were discussions about switching to Latin, but they were not like very serious.
Yeah, they are not very serious.
It's not any like mainstream discussion or anything. So not like in Kazakhstan.
Hardly. I usually go through Moldova, and that's the best way because Polish border is awful. I found out it on summer. Yeah, I'm going to Moldova, and then after Moldova, either through Istanbul or through Warsaw. Yeah. Yeah. Then I plane to New York.
It's on the way back. On the way back.
Yeah.
From Moldova to Odessa, how do you get there?
By bus, there are a lot of buses there. No. Yeah, there are buses. We don't have to go through Transnistria to get to Odessa. There are ways. Don't remember either. We don't have any problems now with Transnistria and Moldova.
I was wondering what do people of Odessa think about the controversial mayor figure Hennady Trukhanov? There's been quite a few scandals about him. So what do people of Odessa think about him now?
It's such a hard question. You have to understand. I hate Gennady Trukhanov. Yeah. Yeah.
So we know Gennady Trukhanov was a long-time mayor of Odessa, and he was removed from his office in late 2025 after Ukrainian
2 weeks ago.
Yes, so very, very, very recently, because he was removed from his office after President of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, revoked his citizenship over allegations that he had Russian passport, and there was a big scandal, and that's why the question came. That's why we're talking about it.
Yeah, and answering your question, I usually say that he was hiding for 2 weeks at the beginning of the war. After that, he didn't want to give money to the for the arms. After that, there were a lot of bad words. His people stole one of my charity concerts, for example. I hate him. But I don't like when our president decides to revoke anybody's citizenship, basing his decision on some poorly made photocopies of the documents. I don't like it. And a lot of people in Odessa who hate him, our mayor, former mayor, as I do, don't like the situation either.
If I could build off that question, I worked for a while for a publication called the Odessa Review, which was an English language magazine.
Me too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. So with Vlad and Regina.
Vlad and Regina.
Wonderful.
Mhm.
I don't know if we crossed paths by email there, and then also later after that, I worked for the Kiev Post, which shortly after I joined was purchased by a man named Adnan Kivan, the big kind of builder of Odessa. And when I would talk with people about the kind of local power situation, political situation in Odessa, I was often told that there were two kind of, like stolbuy of two kind of pillars of power. One was Trukhanov, the other was Kivan, and there may have been a third one out there, but
Yeah, there were several.
So-
they
but so-
were like militia elite.
and there
Also,
were
yeah.
criminal elite, but now Trukhanov is being stripped of his citizenship. Kivan died several months ago. What does the situation with kind of control over the city now look like? Well, de facto leadership, basically, de facto control. Who's calling the shots?
To tell you the truth, I don't know, because it's military administration now, and I was in Odessa months ago, so I don't know. I'll tell you in spring.
Okay, fair enough.
So, with the ports in Odessa, how are they functioning right now? Are they functioning? How well? Do you know anything about that? Is the goods going in and out? All of
Yes,
that.
it's functioning, and people who are working there are really heroic people, because it's being bombed very often, and people are dying there, but still are coming and working. it's usually attacked by drones or missiles, and yes, of course. Cargo ships sometimes wear the arms, so of course they bomb it.
Oh, I actually have one more question. Did a lot of people leave Odessa since the beginning of the war?
Yes, they did, and sometimes a city seems more empty than I would like to see. Yeah, but still, in summer there are a lot of people from other regions, so you don't miss those people who left.
I know some people who left, for example, Kiev, they returned. They came back. Are people like that in Odessa? You know them?
There are a lot of people who returned from abroad.
Yes, that
Because
was.
how can you live without Odessa? I don't know. I can't live in New York without it.
That's actually a perfect note to end. How can you live without Odessa? Thank you very much, Yuliya, for that talk. If you have more questions, we can continue over there.
Thank you.